Hey vinyl community, Jeff here. I just got home from the antique mall. We have this antique mall in town. I've been there. I've shown stuff that I got there. It's one of those places where a lot of people can put booze in there, and it's just thousands of square foot of different booths. And on one end, they do have a music store. They sell stereo equipment and old stereo equipment, but they have a ton of records, and that's usually I go over there first. They have a metal section, they have stuff, and I bought a lot of good stuff there over the years. And then the store itself is, lots and lots and lots of, it's 2 stories tall, lots and lots of booze. And I don't always get a chance to go everywhere. I know where a couple other sections that sell records are. Usually I'm there with my wife or somebody, and by the time I'm done with the main store, they're ready to go. Today, I was all alone. Wife's out of town, kids were at work, nobody's here. I thought, I've been working at home on some web work for a side client, and I decided to take a break. I said, I'm going to go to the antique mall. I got nobody to hold me down. So I went there. Now, I went through, first I'll show you, I went right to that main store, picked up a couple just odds and ends, nothing major. They were good prices. They didn't have anything major, that was in the metal or any section that was worth it. They had a Kiss import in there that, like a live import, they wanted $60 for, but I'm like, no. I went ahead and picked up Thin Lizzy Jailbreak. This was only $4. The album itself is in great condition. I need to put a new sleeve on it. The sleeve, a new inner sleeve. The sleeve itself was in fairly good condition. It was only $4, so I grabbed that. That's just got to have some Thin Lizzy. This one I found out was in worse condition than when I got home, but this is Virgin Killer by the Scorpions. Again, it was only, I don't know, handful of dollars. And this is the special edition where Yuli Roth has glasses. See that? Yeah. Thank you, previous owner. And even on the sleeve itself, the inner sleeve, which is just, it's got some little faintly written notes in pencil. I'm thinking they may be song titles, because I'm seeing things like Thunder Road and Jungle Land, Born to Run. Somebody doing some E Street Band stuff here with some Springsteen. I don't know. The cover itself, once I got it home and actually looked at it, I knew it was beat up. I checked the album inside, and the vinyl was in great condition, so that's why I grabbed it. But the cover itself was only held on by one side. The other 3 are shot, and I need to, I could tape. It's got a big red blur across there. Not the greatest condition, but I consider it kind of like a thrift store find, whereas the record is great, cover not so great. This one's all around great. Cover, album, everything, rainbow. Long live rockin'. This was the first one I saw. This is what I'm like, yes, I got to get that. That's been on my wish list for a while, and it was a great price. I forget how much. It was, yeah, I mean, it wasn't that much at all. It was great. So I grabbed that. Now, and then I grabbed this. This was, I know somebody showed this in the VC at some point. It intrigued me. I remember checking it out. For some reason, I just had in the back of my mind that when I saw this, I'm like, there's something about that album that I liked or something. So I went ahead and grabbed it. And that's Pretty Thing, Savage Eye. Somebody showed this over the years, and I've seen it. So I'm like, it was only a couple dollars. So I went ahead and grabbed that. It was classic rock. 70s, 1975. So I just remember when somebody showed it, I was intrigued, of course, by the weird cover, and somebody said, yeah, they have a lot of great albums. I went out and checked some of their stuff out, and I knew in the back of my mind that it was something I liked. Now, there were a lot of things in that store that were, in the under $10 range that I didn't get. But so I stopped at that and went through the rest of the stores. Now, I went into places in this antique mall, all kinds of little nooks and crannies that I've never been in, just looking. And I went to the normal places where I get albums. There was nothing major there. Everybody, of course, the prices are starting to come up to the regular, what you would expect to find, whereas they used to be cheaper. And I'm finding little pockets of records here and pockets of records there. Now, I found one pocket of records. They were it was like a weird looking shelf, and it was like a V shape, not even like a record, not a magazine rack. Maybe it was like a magazine rack, but they were more flat, not like that. And it just had some albums on there and some albums on 2 tiers. And I'm flipping, and not only were they a little overpriced, but they weren't very good. And then as I'm getting to the bottom of this, maybe 20 albums on this rack, they had a copy of Midnight Dynamite by Kicks, an OG copy. So my immediately heart started like pounding. I grabbed it, and they wanted $60 for it. So they knew what they had. I looked online real quick. You can get it for $50 to $60, but I'm not the type that's going to pay $60 for a record. There has to be something super special about it. So anyway, I passed on that. But then I'm going to another little room, and there's just a little crate of records, and I start looking through them, and they're all overpriced. I mean, everything is $15 to $20. I'm just like, you want to leave a note sometimes and say, you're crazy. These are like thrift store albums. They weren't all thrift store albums. They were in pretty good condition, but just nothing worth $15. Just junk. But then I'm finding, oh look, they have the first Van Halen album. Even that one they wanted like $40 for. I'm like, somebody's just throwing money out there thinking that this is what they're going to get. Then I found one, and I'm like, okay, the price was not horrible, probably more than my instinct would say I wanted to jump and buy, but on the other hand, I knew the rarity of it, that it was tougher to get. So I quickly looked it up on Discogs, and I found, okay, it is selling for a little more on Discogs, so it was worth buying it from local thing. Plus, he had a sign up saying he lost his job from COVID, and please don't steal from his booth and all this stuff. And again, supporting local business stuff. And it was really the only album there, aside from, like I said, Savannah House, it was really the only metal album there out of all that stuff that he had that was overpriced. And I'm like, this is actually fairly decent priced. And anyway, Thundersteel by Riot. Now, it's also a gold stamp promo. Now, I'm like, okay, well, it's gonna, am I gonna pay a little more? It was like regular record prices. It wasn't like it was super expensive. It wasn't like Midnight Dynamite. The cover's got a little crease there. Anyway, when I pulled it out, I saw that the opening was to the top, which to me is a sign that somebody took care of their records. They didn't just throw it in there like that. And I would have to say probably 90% of the time when I find an album that's inserted into the sleeve like that, the album tends to be minty fresh, and in this case it was exactly that. I don't know, as a promo copy, has this ever been played? I do not see an ounce of anything on it. No dust, no fingerprints, nothing. It is minty fresh. Split there on the side. All of that made me think, it's cheaper than I can get it online. To my knowledge, it's not repressed or reissued, and even if it was going to be the price. Most repressed records are still over $30. So this was the score of the day. Midnight Dynamite would have been cool to get had it been closer to 30 or maybe 40. I would have bought it. It was in good condition. I'd show a picture. He had a big sticker on it, which I didn't like. I don't know how well that would have removed, but it did look a little dirty. It wasn't minty fresh like this. So, all of that needs to take into effect the fact that the pricing and everything. But this was the score of the day. Thundersteel, Riot. All the rest is just some fun stuff to fill with. So anyway, that's all. I just want to share that. It was a great time. I got to go out. I spent a lot of time there just digging and digging and digging. And, it was really nice to get out of the house because I've been in the house working on this side project since last night and all day today. Now I got to get back to it. Thanks a lot for watching. Rock on. Rock hard.